Jimmy Kimmel Live, 11:35, 10:35 Central, this week on ABC.
The 1-2-1s. This is 16 WAPT News at 10.
New tonight, a Hinds County Sheriff's deputy under investigation for his role in a deadly fight. How residents in Winston County are picking up the pieces. Pitching in.
Just want to thank God. Thank for all the helping hands that came through to help me.
How volunteers are assisting those most in need. The news starts now.
And we're taking a look right now at raging wildfires throughout Oklahoma. Nearly 4,000 acres have already been burned. Multiple homes already completely destroyed. At least 10 fire departments working on the scene right now. That has led to mass evacuation. Authorities are still trying to determine if there are any injuries. Of course, they had the perfect conditions for this wildfire to take place. All because temperatures reached the upper 90s to around 100 degrees. Also, some very gusty southwest winds. And as we take a look at Storm Shield Live Doppler, unfortunately, no rain in the near future for those folks. It looks like we will stay dry here in central Mississippi, but I do have some rain in 70 forecast a little bit later. Scott?
All right, new tonight, a Hinds County Sheriff's deputy under investigation tonight for a fist fight that killed a man. The Hinds County Sheriff's deputy was off duty and working as a referee during an AAU basketball tournament at this location. Our sources say the deputy and another man got into a fight and that the deputy's punch apparently caused that man to hit his head on the ground, and that man later died. Tonight, JPD says it is a Hinds County investigation. No further details being released. People in Louisville are getting to work, rebuilding what's left of their homes that were torn apart by Monday's deadly tornado. There is a lot of healing, too, after 10 people were killed in that storm. 16 WAPT's Hadas Brown just got back from Louisville and joins us in our newsroom with a recovery effort. Hadas.
Well, Scott, you can see the damage at the hospital in Winston County here. A lot of people still trying to figure out where to live after their homes were destroyed, but say that they have a lot to be thankful for.
You see this all the time on TV, but it's not me, it's somewhere else.
Diane Carter survived the storm with her husband, hiding in a bedroom in their Louisville home. She went back there this weekend to try to salvage what was left.
The first day, we thought you weren't supposed to take anything, and I just got my jewelry, and my husband got his guns, and we got some pictures. People have been so good, you just couldn't believe it. We've not lacked for food, cold water, or anything.
You know, I think once you have something this bad happen, especially to a small community, you have people questioning, are we going to be able to get through this? Is our community going to survive?
MEMA Director Robert Latham says their main priorities are getting the severely damaged hospital up and running again and getting people back in their homes.
We've got a housing task force that's looking at the short-term, long-term housing, because that's going to be real critical to keeping people in this community so that the economy is stabilized and the community can rebuild, recover, and continue to thrive.
FEMA is also helping out, working to get supplies to displaced people like Flory Lee, whose home was also destroyed.
One of my friends called, say, the tornado finna hit where you live. I'm like, really? I thought she was just playing because she always joking. But by that time, it wasn't.
Meantime, donations piling up at the Louisville Coliseum, where over 2,000 volunteers have shown up to help.
We've had stuff coming from all the way from Memphis, from the coast, over in Alabama.
Diane Carter says she's past the shock of the storm and now finding reasons to be thankful.
I just feel like we're just happy to be alive. Material things can be replaced.
Glad to be alive. Glad to be alive.
Now, Robert Latham with MEMA also tells us that if you have been affected by the storm and need help, you should call FEMA to find out if you qualify for aid from them. Their number is 1-800-621-FEMA. Live in the newsroom, Hadas Brown, 16 WAPT News.
Thanks
Scott.
a lot, Hadas. Appreciate that. Breaking news tonight. We've just been told that a news conference will be held tomorrow morning concerning a missing Murrah High School student, Aaliyah Johnson, also known as Leah Pooh, has been missing since April 25th. We are expected to learn more about her disappearance tomorrow. Since Monday, volunteers have been pouring in from other states to help out in the storm cleanup. As 16 WAPT's Andrew Kinsey reports, the act of kindness is giving many hope.
Chainsaws and heavy-duty equipment. Sounds of relief for Eloise Benson.
I can't tell you how I feel. I'm just so happy and thrilled that they're here.
Benson's home on East Jasper Street in Brandon is surrounded by massive trees, all toppled when a tornado hit her neighborhood Monday evening.
It's by grace that tree went that way instead of this way.
As a single mother of two, Benson says the cost to clear the debris is something she simply could not afford. As the stress and worry started to build, Benson's prayers for help were answered.
That's part of our mission through our church and through the Southern Baptist Convention is to come in and help clean up, and volunteer for free.
Helping hands from the Southern Baptist Disaster Relief Team showed up at Benson's home Sunday, ready to work. These volunteers, all the way from Hammond, Louisiana, say helping others during their time of need is something they've been doing for nearly 10 years now.
It's a great mission. We love it. It just helps people, and it shows the love of God, and that's what we're here for. So it's just a really good thing for just to help people out.
It's help that came just in time for Eloise Benson.
And I just want to thank God, thank for all the helping hands that came through to help me.
And Brandon, Andrew Kinsey, 16 WAPT News.
A woman who made the ultimate sacrifice to save a little girl during that storm has been laid to rest. Daycare owner Ruth Bennett died Monday. She is credited with shielding 4-year-old Ashton Mitchell from the storm and flying debris. We caught up with the little girl's family this week.
I just want to take this time to say to Miss Ruth's family, thank you. I mean, you can never say thank you enough. Thank you so much. Your mother gave the ultimate sacrifice.
Touching story. UMC confirmed Ashton has been upgraded from serious to good condition. A Hinds County supervisor is trying to rally support for storm victims in North Mississippi. Tupelo was one of the hardest hit areas of the state. Hinds County Supervisor Kenneth Stokes is collecting clothing and food goods, all to be delivered to that city's tornado victim.
We're asking for non-perishable items to be donated, bottled water, anything that you can do to help the victims, because the community has suffered a great loss.
Yeah, a lot of victims in need up there. If you want to donate, you can call Supervisor Stokes' office at 601-968-1907. Jackson was mostly spared by the tornado damage that ravaged many parts of the metro earlier this week. There were some minor damages, though, and some strewn debris, but the city played a big part in assisting other parts of the area. UMC, for example, traveled throughout the state assisting areas hardest hit by the storm. Jackson Mayor Tony Yarber says in times of need, it is important to help our neighbors.
The Tri-County area has responded in an amazing way. Actually, the night of the storm, I was on the phone with several of the mayors and police chiefs from around the area, and we were communicating back and forward. And so I think that we've responded in, grand Mississippi fashion. And that is that we reach out to each other and we take care of one another whenever things come against us.
We're going to bring back in our meteorologist, Nathan Scott. And Nathan, should we be concerned about tornadoes in May, or could you say we're out of the woods now?
Well, Scott, I created a graphic to describe tornado season here in Mississippi. Take a look at it here. These are the number of tornadoes for each month, January through December, from 1950 until 2013. Now, we've reached the peak. April, we've seen 340 tornadoes throughout the state of Mississippi during that time frame. As we go into the rest of the spring, into the summer months, tornado season really starts to quiet down. Since 1950, we've only seen about 31 tornadoes for the month of July. And then as we head into the fall and winter seasons, that is our second peak of tornado season here in central Mississippi. So the good news is May still, we have to be concerned about the possibility of some tornadoes, but we are on the declining trend as we head to the summer months. So that's some good news. And I have no severe weather in the forecast over the next 7 days. I'll have that forecast coming up in the next few minutes. Scott?
I see a reason to look forward to July. The Salvation Army has continued to provide assistance to those hit by the storm. Many families, of course, now homeless, their homes leveled. The Salvation Army asking for monetary donations so they can get aid and supplies to those in need. So here's what you can do. You can donate $10 by texting STORM to 80888 or by phone at 1-800-SAL-ARMY. That's 1-800-725-2769. Don't forget to stay with 16 WAPT and WAPT.com for continuing coverage of Monday's tornadoes. A reminder, you can always track storms using our interactive radar. And for weather on the go, well, just take your smartphone and download the 16 WAPT app or the Tornado app. Developing tonight, the Rankin County Sheriff's Department searching for a runaway teenager. 15-year-old Christy Prince of Brandon was last seen around 11 Friday night. She was wearing a dark blue Ole Miss t-shirt and gray and pink pants. She's listed at 5'3", about 115 pounds with brown hair. The left side of her head, though, is shaved. If you have any information about her whereabouts, there's some people worried about her. Call the Rankin County Sheriff's Department at 601-825-1480. Authorities are searching for a man accused of assaulting a police officer. This happened in Prentice around 9:45 last night over at the intersections of Highways 13 and 84. The suspect allegedly hit that police officer with his car when he was driving. That officer was treated and released from a local hospital. The suspect has been identified as 38-year-old Andreas Shackelford, originally of Alabama. If you have any information on him, call Crime Stoppers. The phone number is 601-355-TIPS. Hinds County supervisors meeting tomorrow to talk about the possibility of a new jail. It's come up as an option after another riot at the detention center in Raymond last month. This latest one damaged a pod. Another riot about a year ago took out Pod C and cost thousands of dollars to repair. The Sheriff's Department has been criticized for understaffing, but the building itself has also come under fire for how it was built. Looking ahead, the man accused of attacking a JPD officer at a Waffle House is set to appear in court tomorrow. Investigators say Calvin Wright hit that Jackson police officer with a glass coffee pot back on March 21st. The officer was knocked down, but not seriously injured. Some witnesses say Wright was trying to defend himself, but police say he was unruly and yelled at the officer right before that attack. A judge ordered Wright undergo a mental evaluation. Why drivers are being given the green light when it comes to the pump. Plus, local leaders trying to make a difference by focusing on the city's youth.
And for tonight, we're seeing clear skies in place. Take a look at your planner for tomorrow. We'll see the temperatures start out into the 50s, but then we quickly warm up into the low 80s around lunchtime. We're back up to the mid to upper 80s for highs. And you know what? This weather is going to be sticking around over the next several days. I'll have that forecast coming up. You're watching 16 WAPT News.